Hi, and welcome to this channel. Welcome to Sketchly. I'm Damilola, and today's video will tell us more about an amazing app I'm sharing to the public. As a developer, I made this. So if you have used Postman, using this app simplifies it in the sense that this is a mobile view app for Android users by an Android developer and no need to create an account. All features are available free at no cost, so you have 100% access to every feature. This is a free app, you don't need to pay to use, and you access everything at no cost. And on the other hand, if you haven't used Postman, not worry, you get to know all about the feature this app renders. So what this app does is it allows you to test API requests over HTTP or HTTPS. So if you are working with APIs, let's say you're making bots, you're making chat AI and the rest, you can test your API before putting it in production. Just if you want to just quickly test something, you can do that using this app at no cost. So let's test with the get method. I'm going to use a random link. So if I'm just sending an HTTP, you can see. And if you want to know how to use JSON file or JSON response in your app, you can check our video description. I've made one or two tutorials years back on how to work with JSON both online and offline, both from API and both from file directory like assets. So that is not all this app has to offer. So you can see the full information. If you borrow 100,000 naira for 3 months, so you can see the full information what happened under the hood. So you can see once you send an API, you can see all the, for instance, some apps, some API rather, they respond with the header as being the form of encryption. So authorization key can also appear in response if you are making a secure API. And then this is the body which can be copied, So this is the body which can be copied. So you can add multiple headers. You can add unlimited. If you borrow 100,000 naira for 3. Okay, sorry for the ad break. So like I say, you can add unlimited amount of headers. You can add unlimited amount of headers for an unlimited amount of body. So sending data or testing your API is not only, you can also test your file API. But before we go to file API, let's see adding encoded data, that is base 64 data. Let's see. So you can select the method, and then let's say this is a test word. Let's just say this is a test word, or rather you can just say if we want to test the API for authorization key, let me say this is my password, and I don't want it naked. So I'm going to encrypt the password before sending it to the API. So I'm going to encrypt it before sending it to the API. So why it went down? Because I added a lot before. So here it is. Let's just say password, and it can also be decrypted. If you want to see how decrypting works, you can encrypt and decrypt here using our tools. So you can encode and decode. That is to, let's say this is a test word. You encrypt the password as this, and ensure your password contains no space. So you can decode and encode. Let's encode it. If I copy this word now, I can also come back to decode it here. So I can come back to the code. That's that. So when making requests and you want your request to be secured or not being too public, you encode it in base 64, and then you can also password the encoded word like this using this API. So we can add our body, and the body can also be encoded data. Then if you are testing an upload API for uploading file over a network, you are testing your file upload API, even Firebase storage and the rest. You can just enter your URL endpoints from here. Let's say server.upload server.com. That is your server address. Upload endpoints.php. So once you pick a file, the upload appears, and once it has uploaded, if your API returns the URL, it will appear here. So that's that. Thank you for watching this video. You can get the app link in the video description. Please support us by liking, share, and not forget the other method. You can post data over your API. You can test the posting data, put, patch, delete, add, and options. All these are available on API Lab. Thank you.